You already know the routine. I'm looking rough. It is what it is. But we are in the postpartum room. Everything, I'm going to say everything was smooth because there was no complications afterwards. There we go. I didn't want that flash in her face. So I came in for my induction at 5. Got into bed, they let my contractions do what it do. And like I said before, apparently I was not feeling the contractions that I was having. And occasionally I will feel one big one. And I was like, okay, cool. This is how my pregnancy is going to go on. This is how my labor is going to go along. Okay, fast forward to getting the Pitocin now. As you know, when you get an induction, they will give you a Pitocin. They don't give it to you all at once. They give you bit by bit, just to get your contractions gradually closer together. They want them at least to be 2 to 3 minutes apart. So I think I got maybe 3 sessions before mine got to 2 to 3 minutes apart. My contractions were fairly bearable for the most part. I mean, I think I did get to the 3rd session, and with them just being so close together, I was just like, all right, this is a bit much. They gave me this medicine through the IV, Sadol, something like that. But basically, it's just to take the edge off. You're still going to feel the contractions, but not as intense. So that's definitely what it was, but it definitely worked in my favor. I was able to get some sleep. Woo, I was so loopy. Let my husband tell it, which he will, because he was the one that recorded me. I don't remember anything I said. So this specific medicine that goes into the IV, it's supposed to, wear off after 2 hours, which it did. And after it wore off, I let my nurse know, because when I had a contraction, I was like, ow. Like these ones are a little intense. These ones kind of hurt. So she was like, okay, so we could do 1 or 2 things. You could just, keep coasting along with this. Meaning like, not get any more medicine. I can get the epidural, or I can get more medicine. However, the medicine that I had just took, if I was to get it again, it could make baby drowsy, and then it's basically going to set us back, and then I would have to get more Pitocin, and I didn't want that. So I was just like, okay, I don't want my baby sleepy. I need her to be up and active. Lord have mercy. Little did I know what I was about to get myself into, because in the midst of me talking to her about, the next thing I wanted to do, I hit a mean contraction to the point where it was like, I gasped, like it took all the air out of me. I'm sitting there clinging to stuff, and I was like, you know what? Like after it ended, because I counted, and they went from like being 30 seconds long to a minute. So after the minute was up, I told her, I was like, oh no, I'm not doing this without an epidural. And I got an epidural with both of my other 2 pregnancies, but this one I was really trying not to. So she was like, okay, well, you got to sign the paper, because I didn't sign it off at first because I wasn't sure. I was like, I wanted to go natural altogether. But then I was like, at the same time, I don't want to get this epidural, because the last one I got, they missed, had to go back in. Back's never been the same. Back tweaks out every now and again. So she leaves out, and then a wave of contractions literally took me over. And I say contractions, not like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. There was 4 contractions, y'all. I felt like I was in a horror movie. I felt like somebody was trying to tear my uterus out. It felt like somebody lit my uterus on fire. I'm talking about like forest fire. Like it felt horrible, to the point where I let out this blood curdling scream that woke my husband up, and he tried to get me to calm down. The nurse tried to get me to calm down. She's like, you gotta breathe through it. And I get that's their job, to help you try and calm down. But when I tell you, I just couldn't. The whole time that I was in labor, I had been breathing through my contractions. Those were doable. But this specific one, I felt like I was dying, literally. And then it wasn't like 2 to 3 minute intervals. It wasn't like 5 to 10 minute intervals. No, these ones like were flooding in, and it happened. She came back in. I'm trying to calm down. My husband, he's rubbing my face now at this point, like, breathe, just breathe. I'm right here. Literally, I'm trying to breathe and calm down, but then the second wave comes in, so now I'm screaming. The doctors are running, like, she has to check your cervix, like, calm down, relax, everything is okay. But in order for her to check your cervix, you have to turn over on your back, you got to open your legs, you got to calm down. And in my head, I'm like, don't touch me. No, not even in my head. I said, don't touch me, don't touch me. Literally, like, they checked my cervix. I was 7 centimeters. They was like, okay, we're gonna go get anesthesia. You just gotta bear with us for a second. We're trying to rush up here. So she, the nurse that was working with me, ran out. And so the midwife, she's 7 centimeters, and the midwife was like, okay, we still have a little bit of time, but let's get her squared away, get this epidural. I'll sit you up on the side of the bed. I know the whole routine. And literally another one came in, and it was horrible. And it was so bad to the point where, like, my eyes rolled. Like I was making sounds I never made. Then my body went numb. It flushed. Like, I felt like the walls were closing in on me. It felt like death. And I don't even, obviously I don't know what death feels like, but that's what it felt like. It felt like I was going to die. And I literally told my husband, I said, I feel like I'm dying. I feel like I'm dying. And he was like, you're not dying, just breathe, calm down. I'm sitting there listening to my husband, I'm holding his hand, I'm trying to just relax. And literally, it just stopped. Like this ring of fire just stopped. And I turned over on my side into like the fetal position. And it just felt like I was having a huge bowel movement to the point where, if you've ever been constipated, but in this case, with constipation, you're pushing and you could slowly feel it coming. But this time it felt like everything, my whole lower half, everything was working together. So I'm sitting there like, just breathing and silently pushing. So the nurse comes back in and she was just like, all right, we're going to check you again. Make sure, it's not too late to give you the epidural. You're over there breathing, you're calm, right? I told her yes, but literally I was over there pushing. So I had a towel in between my legs because at first, which I didn't tell y'all, when I was having my regular contractions, when they got to 2 to 3 minutes apart, I think my amniotic sac had like tore a little bit because I started leaking a little bit, but I was 4 centimeters in. She just said, I'm gonna go ahead and break it. So a whole bunch of water came out. So of course she knows when it's starting to get intense by that point because now baby is like, all right, I gotta get out. So quite literally, fast forward back to, like I said, I'm laying on my side, fetal position. I'm pushing. I had a towel in between my legs because your water's gonna continue to leak until you start pushing baby out. I'm laying there, my husband's holding me. I'm like literally squeezing the heck out of his wrist and his hoodie, and I'm breathing and I'm pushing. She was like, okay, I'm gonna check you. Quite literally, she looked at that blanket and was like, oh my God. And she ran back out and told the midwife, she was like, she's in here crowning. And she was like, wait, what do you mean she's crowning? I was over there pushing the entire time. So she ran back in and was like, you gotta wait for the midwife. I was like, no, I don't. So I'm sitting there pushing this girl out. And the thing about what I will say with going natural, it's not the actual pushing that hurts. It's that ring of fire that you have to get past to get to the pushing. And I don't know if that's just baby's head dropping further into the cervix so you can push, or if that was just like the final contractions when you hit 10 centimeters to push. Don't ask me what it is. I don't know. I just know that part was the part that made me feel like I was dying. Because when I got to the pushing, I was breathing. I was calm. It just felt like I was just trying to push a big poop out, basically. So I'm pushing and going. She's like, you gotta wait. And I'm like, no, I don't. So at this point, my body's regulating. The thing about going natural, when I say natural, I mean no epidural, is your body regulates itself when you're giving birth. So it's like your body will be like, all right, you could push, stop, take a breather, relax. But it's crazy because in those moments you can still feel like baby trying to like gradually slide out, but it's like, breathe, okay, you got your breaths, big pushes. So I'm bearing down like I'm on the toilet basically at this point. It's still in the fetal position. So she comes over and I can feel I'm feeling baby's head like crown and come out. At this point I knew that's what that was. So they wiped the first part off, and I think she had a little bit of poop. She pooped on me. I thought I was pooping. Honestly, at that point I didn't care because I was just like, listen, something's gonna come out and it's gonna get this pain to go away. So I'm pushing and it comes like that comes out. They wipe me up, and then I push again, and I think I got the top part of her head out, and that's when they were like, hold on, you can't push, because she had her hand up by her face. So it would have bruised her arm. I could have hurt her. So they turned me over. Y'all, I kid you not. I said, don't fucking touch me. What I was doing was working. And they were like, no, her arm. Like, y'all, I was living. I feel like I was being jumped by my husband and the nurses in there because they turned me over, opened my legs, and it was like, we have to do this. Like, you don't push right now. We got to get her arm out. We got to do this. And I couldn't stop pushing. My body wouldn't let me stop pushing. I tried, and I was just like, I can't. This hurts. I was like, let me go. So then finally, when I think I gave maybe like 5 big pushes, I felt her head, and the head is like the biggest part that has to come out, that relieves a lot of pressure. So when that happened, I looked at it like a so I was like, okay, that part's out. So at that point, I knew I just needed to do a couple more pushes to get her shoulders and stuff past, which is the easy part. So they're pulling. I gave another big push, and then literally I felt her whole body come out. They grabbed her out. I felt the rest of the water come out. I still felt the pressure from the placenta in there. I was supposed to leave her, which I don't know if they did or not, because I was so out of it because I was just so over it. Like, I don't even know if they, did delayed cord clamping, because I wanted them to do that. So that means, she gets all of her nutrients, all of her cells, all that stuff goes back, into it basically stops pulsating. So I don't know if they did that or not. They probably did. But then again, it was such a whirlwind of stuff going on. They probably like, listen, this girl she just ran the show, meaning me. So they got her out, and I'm just sitting there like shaking. I'm cold, and I'm just like, my eyes aren't even open. I haven't even looked at her. I heard her crying, so in my mind I was like, she's good. Literally, I couldn't tell you what anybody was doing at this point. They laid her on me. I still didn't open my eyes because I was just like, oh my gosh, that was the absolute worst thing ever. But the crazy part was, like I said, the only thing that made the no epidural. Kind of sunshine. Let me come put this in. The only thing that made the no epidural going natural birth horrible was that ring of fire part. Like, everything else was doable. Everything else was fine except for that moment that was literally probably like a 5-minute moment that felt like I was being tortured in a dungeon somewhere. Like, I was being held against my will, it was just horrible. So literally, I think the next pressure that got relieved was excuse me, y'all, when they were pressing on my abdomen to get the placenta out. They pushed. I'm not gonna lie to you, that it hurt, but when they slid out, I was like, oh my gosh, that feels even better. So at that point, I'm able to open my eyes. She's laying on my chest, and I was just so happy to see her. And I was like, she's so beautiful, obviously. But at the same time, when I tell you, I went from basically just woo 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 and just breathing naturally and normally. I don't remember where I left off. My nurses came in. They're changing shifts. Yeah. Also, I'm a little loopy because this being my third time giving birth 3 years in a row. I know, mommy. You were comfortable. Oh, when Dada get back, she's gonna hold you, Pumpkin. I can tell she's gonna be spoiled already. Barely want to give a damn. But with this being my third pregnancy, like I said, I've been pregnant 3 years in a row. Y'all know the deal. Y'all done seen the labor and delivery vlogs. My uterus is contracting back in place, and because I'm breastfeeding, it's nipple stimulation, so it's helping everything contract back. The good thing that I will say about me. Alright, you was quiet. What happened? I'm gonna whisper now. They gave me Tylenol. At first, they gave me ibuprofen. I knew that ibuprofen wasn't going to work. And then they gave me Tylenol. Tylenol did not work, and I was hoping it did. Then they gave me Motrin. Motrin did not work with these contractions that I'm having. So they gave me a perk. So I'm definitely starting to feel it, but I'm definitely going to finish this part 1. A little vlog for you guys. Because part 2 will be up tomorrow. Or either later on today, depending on how I'm feeling. Probably tomorrow. Without her bath and going home, bringing home baby and stuff like that, introducing to her brothers. But like I was saying, with this go round, I didn't tear, which is surprising because my first 2 I tore a little bit, not too much. And then of course with you having an epidural, you have to get a catheter. You can't do too much walking around. Like, you can't do any walking around until you're done giving birth. And then it's still the bare minimum. They want you to take your time, stuff like that. So I literally was able to get up afterwards. Placenta slid right out, no tears. It was like afterwards, I just didn't feel groggy. I didn't feel like tired or hurt or feel like I had to like figure out my limbs all over again. Like it was just like afterwards, I realized it wasn't that bad. However, the bad part was that ring of fire part. And I'm gonna see if I can insert like more information about that whole ring of fire feeling. Because I talked to the doctor about it, and she was like, "That's just the worst part that everybody goes through." Girl, I was in there screaming, and I don't really scream. I feel like that's kind of a weird thing to do. I don't even like scream on roller coasters. Now, if you put me in a haunted house, yeah, I might, jump and laugh or like, do a little scream. But no, this one I was in here like letting them have it, and I probably scared some of the other ladies, and I'm so sorry. But that was the worst thing ever because my first two, my boys, I didn't feel anything the whole time, so I didn't scream. I was just laying there like, okay, yeah, they're out, cool, cool, kaboom. This go around, it was just like, girl, it's too late for this epidural. You finna have this baby, and that's the end of it. Heck, I wanted her out so bad. It was like, you gonna get her out without this epidural. I feel good. Like, that's the thing. I feel good. Aside from, like, my uterus contracting back into place, like, that, ooh, that hurts. And you know it hurts. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm about to cut this kind of short because this perk is hitting me now. I will say this. I know y'all normally see me actually like recording the actual labor, but because it was so much going on that happened so fast and the nurses and stuff didn't really have time to prepare to like do the actual labor because I was just pushing. Everything went so fast. I wasn't thinking about grabbing my phone. My husband was trying to comfort me. So no, you guys aren't gonna actually see me push this one out because honestly, I even feel like with recording that I wouldn't upload it because I wouldn't want to scare any first time mothers or anybody that's thinking about going natural. Or anything like that. I know it's raw and it's definitely like a true thing because people always say, how is it going natural? I will give you my honest opinion. I will definitely do that, but that video would have been very explicit and very scary, and I just feel like I don't want to put that on other mothers or expecting mothers or mothers that are trying to get pregnant or whatever the case may be. Didn't want to do that to y'all. So that's why you're not gonna see it. That's why you see a lot of me talking and stuff like that. But oh yeah, my mom bought me flowers and this. I know I also didn't show y'all the room, but like I said, I got in there and I was ready to go. Like meaning like I was ready to get the birth to this baby. But went in on Monday. She was born at 6:53 a.m. today, being September 27th. Her due date is actually Wednesday, September 28th. But mommy needed her out because mommy was getting mentally tired, which I will talk to you guys about more in another video. But like I said, I'm getting hot, I'm getting tired, and I will give y'all more information on how the rest of this labor went, and then of course the whole baby's first bath and stuff like that tomorrow, guys, because I'm exhausted, I'm tired. So I will see you guys in part 2. Oh, okay. Yeah, with both of my first at Portsmouth Naval, we weren't able to go back there and watch them.
Oh.
Yeah. It really sucked.
No, so this is like
You guys are doing pretty well. Yeah.
So guys, currently in postpartum. Everything happened so fast with transitioning. Honestly, I don't even remember where I left off yesterday. But I'm about to shower and stuff. We're being discharged today, about to bring baby home. I just got off some meds again because like per my last video, like I stated, these contractions from my uterus going back into place hurt like crap. So I'm coming down now. I just woke up from a nap. So I'm actually about to get in the shower, change, and we're just waiting on the doctor to come back in to let us go home because your girl is ready to. Your girl has completed our family. Me and my husband, we have our 2 boys, our daughter now, Caden, Cameron, and Naomi. It's time to enjoy life. Y'all, I just feel so good, so happy. Yes. But like I said, I'm still kind of coming down off of this medicine right now. So, like I said, as soon as I get out the shower and stuff like that, I'll probably update you guys more when we get settled at home where I'm more relaxed and stuff like that. Because right now I just want to get in the shower and honestly probably go back to sleep. So I will see you guys when I get home.